All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the fourth part of the show, we are now going to talk about the Giants upsetting the Colts and how that has affected their draft positioning as we go into the final week of the regular season. So, the Colts didn't have Anthony Richardson in this game. Joe Flacco played quarterback. And, based off of how these weeks have gone, the season has gone for the Giants, you would have thought they're probably not going to win this game. Maybe they'll move the ball against the Colts, but the Colts should end up winning. And the Colts needed this game to keep their season alive, but now their season's over. And what we got was something I really just did not expect. Not only did the Giants win, they put up 45 points against the Colts. 45. Let's take a look at what Drew Lock did in this game. Okay? So I started him in my semifinals last week. And I ended up losing. He put up 6 points. He threw 2 pick sixes against the Falcons, right? So, I end up losing my matchup, whatever. He ends up that's for the next segment. He ends up having 5 total touchdowns in this game. 4 touchdown passes and a touchdown run. Over 300 yards passing. And the Colts just couldn't tackle. Malik Neighbors had a big game. He had almost 200 yards receiving. He had 171 yards and 2 touchdowns. Wan'Dale Robinson had a touchdown in this game. Darius Slayton had a touchdown in this game. Giants end up winning 45-33 over the Colts. And because of that win, they go from number 1 to number 4 in the draft. And Joe Flacco, 2 picks in this game. Jonathan Taylor had a big game, 125 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Giants defense is just awful. It was bad once again yesterday, but the Giants put up 45 points, so it didn't matter. They also had a kickoff return in this game. Smith Marset had a kickoff return. And, the defense was forcing turnovers. Again, not like the defense played well. I mean, the Colts, let's look at the total yards for both teams. The Colts put up more yards than the Giants in this game, 446 yards, and the Giants had 389. And the Colts picked up 25 first downs. Time of possession, they had the ball for over 33 minutes. The Giants had it for 26 minutes. But it didn't matter. Giants got the win. It's amazing. And, it is kind of funny, not going to lie, that this happened. Now, being a Giant fan, I'm one of those Giant fans that have kind of just been checked out. But it's things like this. Because the Giants were in a good position to take whatever player they wanted, which was going to be a quarterback. And, that would at least had me and many Giant fans invested. Like, let's see what this will bring. But now, at number 4, what are they going to do? Are they going to... again, things can change, but right now, the way things stand, the Patriots actually would have the first pick. Then the Titans. And then, I believe the Browns. Yeah, so the Patriots, Titans, Browns, Giants. That's how the top 4 is, according to Tankathon.com. Now, the Patriots, they got Drake May, so they're not taking a quarterback. The Titans probably will. The Browns, they probably will too. Now, they kind of adjusted Deshaun Watson's contract recently. But he's still going to be on the team. He's still going to be playing for the starting job next year. But the Browns are probably going to want to take a quarterback. Because Deshaun Watson, it's obvious he's not the guy. And for the Titans, Will Levis, he hasn't been good this year. Doesn't look like it's going to be him. So it looks like those 2 teams are going to be taking quarterbacks, and they're ahead of the Giants right now. These 4 teams are tied at 3-13. But the Giants right now have the 4. And the Patriots, they'll be playing the Bills next week. Tennessee will be playing, I think, the Colts. No, the Texans. They'll be playing the Texans, and the Browns are playing the Ravens. Now, the Bills could be resting starters because they're pretty much... actually, no. I think the Ravens can still get the 2 seed. Actually, no. Let me just take a quick look. No, the Bills got the 2 seed. So they could sit their starters. So maybe the Patriots end up winning that game. I don't know. But I don't think the Titans are losing to the Texans or winning to the Texans against the Texans, even though they won already. But then again, the Texans are kind of locked into the 4, so maybe they sit their starters. And then maybe, then the Giants can move up again. But I don't know. I think this might be how the draft order is with the Giants at the 4. The Giants have looked like the worst team in football this whole year, pretty much. And they might not even finish with a top 3 pick. It's unbelievable. And I really don't know what's going to happen now. Did this 45-point performance save Joe Schoen and Brian Dable's jobs? It might have. I mean, who are they going to take then with this pick? Are they going to take maybe another quarterback? Could they take Carson Beck from Georgia? What's going to happen? I have no idea. I really have no idea. Because you had an idea before yesterday because they had the number 1 pick. Now they won, and they're fortunate that Jacksonville and the Raiders won because I think they would have been even lower. But now it's just it's going to be more of the same next year. Even though this is very early on that I'm saying this. But what are the Giants going to do then? Do you still take a quarterback? Or, maybe depending on what the Vikings do. I know some people have brought this up. Maybe, if the Vikings bring back Sam Darnold, then you trade for J.J. McCarthy. Could you do that? It's possible. I mean, I don't know. But it's just, where was this all year? Now, I think this had more to say about the Colts and how bad their defense really is than the Giants winning this game. Because the Colts needed this game to stay alive in the playoffs. They were playing catch-up the whole time. The Giants, I think they never trailed in this game. They were always winning. And it's funny how going into the game, the Giants had not won a home game all year. And they didn't want that, I guess, to be something that would hang over their head in history, where they just never win a home game during a season. Actually, no, the Colts did take the lead. The Colts did have a lead. They were up 3-0. But then, the Giants went up 21-6. And, the Colts did get it to 28-26. And then it was 35-33. But, no, it didn't matter. The Giants pretty much were ahead this whole time, the whole time. And, No, I mean, look. For the players, they got to be happy because, it's been such a tough year for them. And, just getting a win at least, is good for them. But for some fans, I mean, they are really ticked off over this win. Because now it's like, what's going to happen next year? Now, again, I don't know how Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward would turn out on the Giants because the Giants... They haven't been good. They had a couple of blips in the radar, like I said, with 2016 and 2022. But other than that, it's just been more than a decade of just bad football. And now you had an opportunity where you could, reset the clock and, take one of these top two quarterbacks. But now, who knows what they're going to do? And I apologize with my dog barking. A lot of background noise, doors slamming, but it is what it is. It's just been it's been a tough year for the Giants, and now they get a win, and now it's like, well, what are you going to do at quarterback next year? What are you going to have Drew Lock play quarterback next year for them? It's just, I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know what's going to happen. And now, next week, they'll be taking on the Eagles. Saquon Barkley, I think he needs 100 yards to break the single season rushing record. How fitting would that be if he's able to do that against the Giants? Now, the Eagles, they could sit him. But I think they want him to get that record. So, odds are he's going to play. We'll see what happens, though. Anthony in the chat, question about the NFL draft. Do you think a draft lottery could work in the NFL where the first 15 picks get dropped into a lottery and there's a percentage like you see with the MLB, NBA, and NHL? Right now, I don't think so. The Giants need more than a quarterback. They need to trade down and get more draft picks. That's also a good point. I mean, you could do that here now because it looks like you're not going to get one of these top quarterbacks. So, you could do that, get more picks. But at the same time, if it's Joe Shane making the picks, do you trust him? Because, I mean, this past draft was good. But the Kayvon Thibodeau pick hasn't really looked like it's panned out. Evan Neal definitely hasn't panned out. Deonte Banks, he took a step back this year. I don't know. I'm at a loss when it comes to the Giants. I really just don't know. So they got one more game to play. Saquon Barkley, if he plays, he'll probably break the rushing record against his former team. And then we'll see what they end up doing if they let go of Brian Dable and Joe Shane. But yeah, Giants put up 45 points. They get a win. You think that's a positive. It's actually a huge negative in the eyes of a lot of people. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think, though, about the Giants' win over the Colts. Again, I think it's more telling on the Colts because their defense, I mean, how do you let the Giants do that to you? Were they just, not prepared for this game? They still had a chance to make the playoffs. Now they got no chance. They're out. So, yeah, it just didn't expect it, but it is what it is. So, we're going to take our final break of the show. When we come back, we will preview the NFC Championship game rematch between the Lions and the 49ers. A lot different of a game than we got last year, I can tell you that. So that's what we will discuss when we come back from our final break of the show. So with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.